What's happening, guys? We are back here again today for another video. Yes, guys, it's about that time. Welcome back to the channel. Today's discussion, as you can tell from the title of the video, we're going to be talking about why all Volkswagen GTI owners will eventually have to buy a Golf R. So without further ado, let's get into it. So if you clicked on this video, maybe there's a possibility you could be in the research phase, you're trying to figure out what the next car is going to be. You might be looking at the pros and cons of these two vehicles. You're diving into different threads, discussions, talking to some people in the comments, Facebook groups, getting some feedback. You're trying to figure out what direction you're going to go here. I'm here to tell you today that no matter which way you start, inevitably, you're going to circle back to the Golf R. Here's why. We all know the Volkswagen GTI is going to be a tremendous value when it comes to looking at your modern day hot hatch. It's a compact car, makes some great power, turbo upgrades, suspension, handling. You want to build a fancy daily driver. You want to kind of have your weekend warrior doing some like track day stuff. Maybe you're in autocross. It's a really fun, practical car. Definitely good for the whole family as well, having a lot of extra space with the hatch. But somewhere deep in the back of your mind, there's something about the GTI that bothers you. That, of course, we all know. Number one drawback on the GTI, it is front wheel drive. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, hey man, you know what? It's a daily driver, it's not that big of a deal. You don't really need all-wheel drive. You're just paying more money for an extra feature that's not going to make a difference on the street and all this, that, and the other. But I'm here to tell you today that if you start yourself out with a GTI, inevitably, you're going to eventually want to have all-wheel drive. Reason number one, for a lot of people that live up north, if you're going to be getting some snow, facing some bad weather, there's a good chance that you're probably going to want to have the best factory powertrain configuration being all-wheel drive. Obviously, there's your pros and cons, rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, this, that, and the other, but we all know that all-wheel drive is going to be the superior configuration if you're going to be getting some rough weather. A lot of people are going to find themselves pretty frustrated once they start to deal with the limitations of traction with front-wheel drive. It's just that simple. The next reason is you're always going to want to make more power. Maybe you get a stock GTI, maybe it's Mark 7, maybe it's a newer Mark 8. These cars make some pretty respectable power as configured from the factory, but you know you're going to do a stage 1 tune. You're probably going to want to do a stage 2 tune, right? You're going to start getting a little bit more aggressive with your modifications. You're going to want to do more bolt-ons, more performance upgrades, and the more power you throw at these cars, the more you're going to find that traction is going to be an issue. Now, I can already hear you guys in the comment section, well, man, you know, just get some better tires. It's got a limited slip differential. I'm telling you guys, that's all well and good, but it is not a substitute for having a proper all-wheel drive powertrain. Anybody that's been following my channel for a while, you guys probably know my very first project vehicle for this platform was the Audi A3 Quattro. I had made a lot of discussions talking about why I had chose to start with that as opposed to the Volkswagen GTI. So if you happen to be interested in looking back at the entire build series, I'll be sure to put a card right up here. So I can already tell you guys how it's going to play out. You're going to be looking at cars. You're looking at the GTI. It seems like it's a little bit more reasonable, right? It's more within your budget, somewhere closer to what you're comfortable spending with that number you have in your mind. And you're thinking to yourself, you know, man, that Golf R is just not really worth it, bro. I'm gonna save a little money and get the GTI. Then you're gonna do your stage 1 tune. Then you're gonna want to go stage 1. Then you're looking at drop-in turbo upgrades, and you're pushing 400, 500 horsepower. Then you got your flex fuel and your E85 and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, you know what? You're gonna be like, dang, bro, I wish I had all-wheel drive. It's just gonna happen, man. I'm just telling you, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So stop lying to yourself, guys. Face the reality. You need to stop lying to yourself, guys. You need to face the reality that inevitably you're going to be in the GTI, you know, you're going to have that snowy day, you know, you're going to make a U-turn in the rain, you're going to add more power to your car, the dude at the stoplight next to you is going to have a Golf R, and you're going to be like, dang, bro, why did I sell myself short? Don't play yourself, guys. I'm telling you, you're going to make some pretty expensive mistakes here if you don't do it right from the beginning. One of the overarching themes of the entire channel with all the different build series that we've done is buy once, cry once, do it nice, don't do it twice, just do a one and done, man. Just do a one and done. Maybe you pick up that second job, you know, maybe you find yourself another way to get the funding to make the Golf R happen. Because you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna buy that brand new GTI You're gonna maybe drive it for a year, year and a half, maybe even less. You're gonna take a horrific depreciation, right? Then you go to trade it or get out of it, and you're gonna be rolling negative equity. Whereas if you get yourself a Golf R, you could theoretically drive the car because those cars retain their value on a much higher level than a GTI. You're probably not gonna take a whole lot of loss if you go and happen to sell it within a reasonable amount of time. I'm not gonna say you're always gonna walk away unscathed, but the likelihood of you retaining equity in the value of the Golf R, it's gonna be a lot better off than the GTI. And the next thing I'm gonna talk about is maybe you already had GTI, maybe you already had a Golf R, you've kind of gone through that ecosystem of upgrades, and you're kind of thinking about what's next. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Skip the Golf R. Yeah, skip the Golf R. Skip it. Buy an RS3. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Yo, bro, the RS3 is too expensive, man. You know, you're paying the Audi tax. It's just an overpriced Volkswagen, blah, blah, blah. Hey, look, nothing against the Golf R. It's a fantastic value. I mean, it's absolutely a legendary weapon within the hot hatch world. We all know that. But, if you have the budget, I would highly consider, instead of forking over, 55, pushing 60 grand on a Mark 8 Golf R, you probably would be better off just buying a used 8V Audi RS3. I'm just gonna say it. For around the same price, probably that high 40s, low $50,000 price range. Sure, it's not gonna be brand new, might be a few years old, might already have a couple mods to it, but performance-wise, man, it's just not even in the same tier. It's a completely different animal. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's just an overpriced Volkswagen, man. It's the same Haldex, MQB, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. That's fine. Just type away. Type away on the keyboard, man. Go get behind the Golf R. Go get behind the Audi RS3. Drive cars, consistent stage 1 versus stage 1 or stage 2 versus stage 2, apples to apples, and you tell me which one's better. I'm just going to put that in your hands, guys. If you have the opportunity to drive both of them, compare them side by side, I will let you guys make that decision for yourself. But if you want to save yourself the trouble, man, skip the GTI, skip the Golf R, just go straight to the RS3, man. Just do that one and done. You won't be disappointed. I see it all the time. People in Facebook groups, they're trying to figure out, what's the best downpipe? What's the best exhaust? Should I do a resonator to lead? Guys, let's just be real with ourselves. The 2.0 T, man, it's not saying it sounds bad, but it really just doesn't ever sound that great, even if you have like a high-end exhaust. Let's just call it what it is, guys. Let's just be honest with ourselves, all right? Let's just keep it 100 here. That 2.0 T is not exactly going to sound too good, okay? Even if you fork over a couple grand for some fancy exhaust, it's just going to be a 2.0 T, man. It's not going to sound great. So why don't you just skip the headache, skip the hassle, just quit goofing around over here and get yourself a Daza, bro. Get yourself a Daza. Because once you get into it, man, once you get into a 5-cylinder, there's just kind of no looking back. If you clicked on this video for the purpose of GTI versus Golf R, I hope this provides some decent perspective. I do have a variety of other channels covering similar comparative topics, so I would encourage you to check those out. If you decide you want to go all out and just do that one and done, man, get that budget going, right? Get that extra hustle going, put in the extra hours. Hey, if you can pull off the RS3, I think you're going to be a lot happier in the long run. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to comment in the comment section down below. That's all I have to say on this one. Why eventually all GTI owners will inevitably purchase a Golf R. Thank you guys for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, really helps me out. All applicable links to related builds will be in the description box down below. Subscribe for more. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.